all of the latest and greatest games are running just like they should be, very, very smooth, at least in my experience. So the Dark Pictures Anthology, Directive 8020, things like Holland Life 2, Reanimal, yeah, a bunch of the recent releases are coming out, and yeah, they're playing really good. At least that's my experience on a PS5 12.00. Now let's go ahead and switch gears and go into some of the bigger news. Okay, to kick things off, the biggest news is that we are now able to use the YouTube application in order to jailbreak a PlayStation 5 all the way up to 12.40. As you can see here, I was doing some testing on a 12.40 system that I have, and I was absolutely successful with that. Now, this is pretty big news because before it started, we were only able to use the Star Wars Racer Revenge disc, and then from there, we were able to use the Japanese Lua games. And now, thirdly, we're able to use the YouTube application. So that is going to make this very accessible to everyone. Now, I do have a video where I'll walk you through jailbreaking my 12.40 step by step using the YouTube jailbreak plus the patience to jailbreak if you do want to check this out. Now, one thing you might have noticed in this screenshot here, I was using YouTube Jailbreak 1.4 by Gajina, and if we take a look at this, this is a super recent release. So in version 1.4, there was a changelog, and they updated laps to 2.0, merged UMF's 42 kernel exploit, PS5 post jailbreak all-in-one shellcode, and then deprecated PS5 firmware-specific kernel offsets, as well as GPU read or write. So you can see the rest of the changelog in here. Now, as always, you can use one of these tools here to restore, or if you're already jailbroken, you can just replace the download 0.dat with this one right here. Next up, anytime there is an update to the YouTube jailbreak application, there is a PS5 YouTube Jailbreak Autoloader by its PLK that typically gets updated as well. Now, this one right here is a test build that is currently out that does use Patience to Jailbreak. So it says that this uses Patience to Jailbreak version 2.4 on all firmwares up to 12.40, and that this is really just for some testing. So again, if you do want to go ahead and play with this autoloader, you absolutely can jump into it and start checking this out now. Now, that takes us to the actual project itself over here by Madam6, and it is P2JB Y2JB porting. We can see that this is a PlayStation 5 jailbreak, firmware's 9.00 all the way through 12.40, and that now it is confirmed working a jailbreak end-to-end, debug menu plus Y2JB's elf loader. Now it will be started up automatically before you had to move a file around, and now persistent unpatcher delivery. Now the biggest news here is that closing the YouTube host app after completion no longer kernel panics the console. So that is fabulous news there. And so if we jump over here into the releases, we can see that release 2.4 just came out 4 hours ago, and this one says elf loader from Y2JB sandbox, debug settings menu enabled by P2JB itself, and that YouTube jailbreak 1.3 is supported alongside 1.4. So that's especially great for those that haven't come over here and already migrated to 1.4. And so getting started with this, again, it's pretty easy. You can just grab the p2jb.js if you just want to send this over manually. Now, I do want to jump into a few other topics, and this one is going to be that we saw this tweet by Jordy, which says 5.xx, Bypervisor, Hypervisor defeat, plus HV text and K text dumps wouldn't be possible without the flow, Hypervisor blog disclosure, and open source work. So with this, it looks like they were able to use the work that the flow did. on Linux and getting that to work with 5.x firmwares in order to come up with this Bypervisor hypervisor defeat for 5.x firmwares. So you can come over here and take a look at the dumps if you want to, but it doesn't look like this is legitimate, as I've seen several folks sharing this out in the scene. But we will have to wait and see. Now, we also saw a release of kstuff-lite version 1.05. This is the one that does support firmwares 3.00 all the way up to 12.70, and this was the version that I used in this video here, which is doing extremely well at the moment, so thanks to you for watching that. But down here, you can just scroll down and grab the kstuff.l file. Now, this will allow you to do things like run your fake package PlayStation 4 games as well as run your PlayStation 5 games. Now, there has been a lot of advancements that I have been seeing happening over here from Sonic ISO, and this one is called a UDS Trophy Unlocker. And if we scroll down into this project just a little bit, what we can see is that it says Trophy Unlocker, all firmware, single ELF, and it is an end-to-end console trophy unlocker, so one ELF that auto-patches SCE shell core for the active firmware, so it says validated end-to-end on a 4.51 as well as a 12.00 with these games, and so it looks like pretty much all of the popular firmwares are already supported down in this. And so from this, you can unlock different trophies in your PlayStation 5 games. Now, I have not played with this personally. I've never really been a big kind of trophy type of person, but I think I will be taking a look at this and just seeing what all you can do with it. But if you want to go ahead and get started playing with it, go ahead and head over to this URL. So we are going to stay right here, and we're going to go to another project by the same developer, and this one is called Elf Arsenal. So here it says the all-in-one utility for the PlayStation 5, and that this is a successor to the Sonic Loader, rebranded and expanded. One elf you send to your console's elf loader that wires up cheats, save management on-screen FTP, a trophy unlocker stack, shadow mount, and a bunch of other things. So it says here that what's inside, it says it is a single elf that you send to the elf loader, and it contains every sub-payload below, so none of these need to be downloaded. So things like kstuff-lite, which is a must, is included, Shadow Mount Plus, and then a couple of other ones in here, including the things like our Nano DNS that we are all starting to love. So anyways, I will leave a link to this just like everything else in the description below. And if you want to take a deeper look at this, then go ahead and check it out. Next up, I did want to switch back to the remote Lua loader that we all got to know and to love, because mainly there was a few commits that I wanted to call your attention to. So obviously with remote Lua loader, this is where you can use this number of Japanese Lua games in order to jailbreak your console. But I did see that there had not been a lot of movement until over here on May the 21st, and that is where Patience to Jailbreak, which this is the version that apparently is been working very well, was finally committed or merged into the main branch here. So now if you come in here and you go over here to Payloads, and we scroll down just a little bit, and you will see the Patience to Jailbreak.lua file has now been added. Anyways, I thought I would call that out. Now, the next thing that I wanted to show is that there is this program which is called PS5 Lapy Daemon, and it says here that this is a standalone homebrew jailbreak daemon for the PlayStation 5. It mimics ETA's Jailbreak on Demand API, and it supports up to 12.00, and then again, no ETA hint is required. And really what this is going to allow you to do is that's going to allow you to run things like PS5 Explorer without having to load ETA hin. In the past, that was just one of the requirements. Anyways, as folks are starting to look at minimum setup configs, it absolutely makes sense for a way for them to still run those applications without running ETA hin if they don't want to do so. Next up, there is this project over here which is called PS5 BD-JB Autoloader, and this is a fork of BD on JB, and really this just has a very nice graphical user interface. Now, this is what I am using right now on my PS5 12.00, so I thought I would go ahead and call this out today. Now, it does have a 1.2 release, but it says this is an aborted release, so don't use it. But you could come down here and try one of these other builds. Now, I'm currently using version 1.1, which was updated to poops to 1.4. So it's basically just downloading this ISO image, burning it to a Blu-ray disc, and then jailbreaking your PlayStation 5, at least on 12.00. with that, so I thought I would just go ahead and call that out in the episode here today. Now, I know a lot of folks have been asking about this game already, which is 007 First Light. This is a very highly anticipated PlayStation 5 game that is about to come out, and what we have seen here is that actually, without updating the game, it ends after the introductory mission, which lasts about 30 to 40 minutes, and it also requires PlayStation 5 13.0. So anyways, I thought I would go ahead and give you some information on that, but don't worry, because I have been noticing that there is all kinds of new games that has been coming to the PlayStation 5. So things like Star Wars Dark Forces Remastered, Direct of 2020, which I showed you at the beginning, High on Life 2, and then some other big titles like Crimson Desert, Saros, and then Shinobi and Reanimal. Anyways, it is a great time to be a PlayStation 5 Jailbreak owner. And with that being said, thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Michael,